and the green and white upon my chest. It's such a joy for us to see, for they play football the Celtic way, with the four-leaf clover on my breast, and the green and white upon my chest. It's such a joy for us to see, for they play football the Celtic way, for they play football the Celtic.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hail, boys. How are we?
Fantastic.
Beautiful Sunday. Beautiful Sunday.
3 goals, 3 points. Welcome to the Four Leaf Clover podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Another clean sheet, another 3 points, and down the road, Andy.
Aye. Pretty much where we kicked off for the last game, innit? We were really good start to the game. Absolute terrible day, innit, when it comes to the weather.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, it's never bad there, is it? I thought overall, by the way, I thought that the surface was brilliant. I know it's early in the season, but you know, sometimes the pitch can be easily cut up, and I thought it was credit to the groundsman at St Mirren. It was really cracking surface for playing, and then that slickness and all with the rain did it. But I found that maybe now and again their footing was getting lost a wee bit now and again. But overall, I pleased with the pitch. As I say, the weather could be better, but sometimes that works out better when it's that kind of slick surface and you want to play good football. So, overall happy.
Paddy, welcome. 3 points down the road, and as Andy alluded to there, a nice slick surface, which would have suited us more than it suited them.
Definitely, yeah. Pitch was in great shape, even though it was taking a pounding from the rain. But I think that especially the first half, the speed of our game was brilliant, and the pitch helped that. So very difficult conditions, but 9 points from 3 games, no goals conceded. Can't ask for any better than that for a start. First time in a long time since that's been done.
Yeah, aye, spot on, Paddy. Aye, great start to the season, Andy. So what we'll do is we'll go right to the very beginning. The starting lineup. There was 2 changes today. Obviously, the big talking point of the week, the Scottish transfer records. Matt O'Reilly, we've seen him on the EasyJet flight on his way down to Brighton, and he's down there at the minute completing his medical. So no Matt O'Reilly and no Kuhn, who had a slight back injury as well, apparently. And in comes the 2 new signings of Bernardo and Ida. Any surprises in there for you? And were you, like myself, Andy, hoping to see Matt O'Reilly that one last time?
It wasn't going to happen, mate, was it? I think, you know, the deal was already done and there was no way he was going to be playing. It was very strange not to see him in the starting lineup because he's been an ever-present for us, really, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So
that was a bit strange with that. That's something we're going to have to get used to. Bernardo, I think, is a kind of, as much as I don't think and other people don't think he's a actual like-for-like replacement, I think it was the natural kind of choice to come in and play that. With the jersey no being there anymore, we obviously O'Reilly been away, and I thought, well, this is Bernardo's opportunity to come in. If there is a vacant jersey, then make it his. Kuhn, I was surprised not to see Kuhn. I know he had a back injury. So he's had a fantastic start for us as well, but you've got Forrest coming in there, and he always delivers the goods, didn't he? I thought he was quite lively the day as well. So overall, I thought Ida would have started the game. I know his fitness maybe got to be worked on, his match fitness, which will come good enough. So I had him for starting, so not really surprised with any changes, really, to be honest with you.
Well, there's some good news there from George Robertson. We've got some breaking news here on the Four Leaf Clover podcast. He's actually failed his medical because he had a hair out of place. Absolutely no chance that beautiful human being would ever have a hair out of place, Paddy.
Yeah, we don't. Oh, Paddy.
Any surprises there in the starting lineup for you, Paddy? You know, I felt Maeda could find himself a bit unlucky, you know, to be starting up front with the way he's been playing recently as well. Yourself, mate, any surprises?
Not really, Scott. No, I think when you see the height of the St Mirren team, I think they've got at least half a dozen players, 6'2", 6'3". So I think he was always gonna give a wee run out to Big Eat up there to maybe hold the ball up for us.
Yeah.
The only other one was Kuhn, but again, he started off like a house on fire. But Brenda did say that he wasn't able to train all week long due to some wee back injury, so they just felt he wasn't fit to start the game. So pretty much as we would expect. I think Bernardo for O'Reilly was the obvious one. I think that was the obvious choice. As Andy said, not like for like by any manner of means, but I thought Bernardo was actually I thought he played very well. Thought
Yes.
He did really, really well. Slotted in nicely, and again, just what we were talking about on Wednesday night. I think we might even be speaking about it afterwards. Maybe Hatate, maybe he can step up now and maybe be the player that we know he can be. But apart from that, nothing, no real major changes. And he's getting a turnout of all the wingers at the minute. Maeda, Forrest, Kuhn. So at the minute, it doesn't matter who starts up front for us. We seem to be firing on all cylinders. And so for me, no real surprises.
Aye. I think you're bang on there with Bernardo and Hatate. Hatate certainly stepped up to the plate today, and Bernardo was brilliant. I thought his tackling, his aggression, his everything, mate. I thought he done really, really well, and for the minutes he was on the pitch, he was fantastic for sure. So Andy, the first thing that happened in the match was the St Mirren goalkeeper picking the ball at the net. 3 minutes in, mate. Steve Clark absolutely fuming once again. Jamesy Forrest down the right hand side finds Mach at the edge of the area, and boom, what a strike! Celtic 1-0.
You know that Steve Clark's going to be on the phone to Mach saying, going to just come back and play for us again, don't you? You just know that. But
For sure.
I think you find that now and again with players kind of retire for international football. Listen, Mach's got that in his locker anyway. He's done it many times for Celtic. And I think particularly he said a great start to the season as well. But you find that a lot when they do kind of retire for international football, that they kind of go up a level again, they kind of, I don't know what it is, it's pretty strange, but Mach's going to be a miss internationally. I don't think they utilised him enough, to be honest with you, and I don't think he was surrounded with good enough players for him to really shine. I think he's a great captain, but when it comes to the wee lay-off for Forrest and Mach's bringing the ball out onto his left foot, and what a shot, by the way. Fantastic goal and a fantastic start to the game on the second minute. So I couldn't ask for a better start than that.
Aye, brilliant, Paddy. Just the start we needed, and I think we've done that before against St Mirren. We Jamesy Forrest out on the right-hand side, plays it out to Mach, and we just knew when he had that space what he was going to do, and what a strike and what a goal, 1-0 Celtic.
And that's it. And he has that in his locker. The same against Hibs at Easter Road as well. Great strike from distance as well. So one of those things that how many times have we been either at the game or watching the game on the TV, and you're screaming at the good players that can shoot from outside the box. We seem to want to do this intricate 1-2s, nice football around the edge of the box. But when you've got players like McGregor and Hatate and Bernardo that can strike the ball like that, and as Andy said, the international, I'm not that bothered about the international setup. I think that will prolong his Celtic career, and that's all that matters. No more travelling, no more playing extra games, no more picking up injuries or whatever. So for us, it's a bonus. I just thought he was outstanding today again. And even the lead up to we actually, if you watch the goal back again, we actually kept the ball. We kept the ball under pressure for quite a wee while before we actually worked the space and worked the opening. And then, as Andy says, Callum has that, and it was a goal from the minute it left his boot. We've lost Scotty, have we?
All right, mate. Sorry, I thought it was me. I think I cut off here for a second as well.
I think Scotty's gone, has he?
Aye, I was. Aye, must have lost his signal. I'd actually cut out. I was going to kind of refresh, but I better know and leave you there yourself, Paddy. So, where did we get to there, mate? Sorry,
we were just talking about the first goal, and that's what I say again. This is a great thing about scoring early. This is the key to the whole thing. You see these teams that sit in with 10 men behind the ball, and they just frustrate you, and they waste time, and they try to for set pieces. The best answer to that is an early goal or an early couple of goals. If you can knock in a goal or two, that just puts their game plan completely out the window, and it forces them to come out, and then we can play in the space in behind. So again, we've had early goals in every game, I think, so far this season, and that's the way forward, definitely.
I think the only thing with that is when it came to St Mirren, it didn't really kind of entice them to come out a wee bit, didn't it? No, because that was going to be their game plan throughout the whole game. I think now, no matter when we scored. It was basically to try and stop us playing, which when we're playing on our game and we're playing to the levels we're at the now is a very difficult thing to do. And it's one thing kind of try to implement it, but if we're up for it and playing our game, I think any team's going to struggle against us, and it seems to be the way it is now. Right, so in the 6th minute, AJ to Bernardo. And the keeper makes a save there as well. I think it was a pretty kind of wasn't really going to come to much, to be quite honest with you. What was your overall? Oh, there he's back.
No clue what happened there, gentlemen. Sorry, I apologise for that.
I was just saying that my internet was playing up as well, and I was going to jump off and refresh, but then you disappeared, and I thought I can't go and leave Paddy Airy Sale. So anyway, we're back. I got up to the 6th minute here. It was a chance for you. And AJ bought to Bernardo. It never really came to much, so I don't know where you were, Scotty. I think it was just
cool. I was just going to talk about the yellow card of Gogic on Maeda. Did you have a wee chat about that there?
No, I kind of jumped over that to go to the chance after that. I did have it noted down. Aye.
Right. I was just going to say, Andy, for yourself, mate. We spoke about it in a few games already this season. There's been a lot of early yellow cards against us, and it's probably because something that Paddy said. It's the way we've started. We've started really fast, maybe like an Ange team. We've seen it from the start of pre-season, and it was a shocking tackle for Gogic on Maeda.
Aye, I don't think he's the best tackler in the world, Gogic. He's a big lumpy a boy. It was a pretty poor challenge that early in the game as well. And I was kind of going to give him the benefit of the doubt. We maybe thinking is it a surface that kind of makes it look worse, but it was a pretty bad challenge, mate. So rightfully got the yellow card in my opinion.
Aye, and Paddy, yourself, that's exactly where I was at anyway, it was on that one in the 5th minute. Very cynical for Gogic, and could have been a red. We
didn't really, like Andy said, it was only when you saw the replay. And for me, the guy's been very, very lucky to escape a red card. Ticks all the boxes for the classic red card. Off his feet, out of control, endangering the opponent. I don't know how many more they need. I don't like to see red cards being bandied about, but it was an absolutely shocking tackle. And I think the referee just bottled it. To be quite honest, I think he bottled it just by the yellow card. But there was one or two hefty tackles in the opening spell of the game too. That one was the worst. But he definitely can count himself lucky to have only seen yellow.
Yeah, I'm with you, mate. I think if it wasn't as early, it could have been a different story. And the referee, I'm not going to say the referee bottled it, but I think it was because it was early that he got away with one there. So we'll move on for that chance in the 6th minute, on to the 13th minute. Hatate, after a great passing move, has a shot on goal, Andy. And cracking save for the keeper. It was a great passing move. It must have been 10 plus passes, maybe even 20 plus passes, to be honest with you. And Maeda gets his shot off. Great save after the keeper. Breaks to Adam Ida. And Ida has a shot as well. And not for the first time this season or last season, the keeper saves again, mate. And this happened to us quite a lot last season where keepers had an absolute worldly against us. And the St Mirren keeper was one of them today.
Aye. I mean, I don't think he had a particularly great game, the keeper, like the whole game, but that particular instance he did. And as you said, that a lot of the keepers, opposition keepers we play, seem to have blinders, don't they, on certain games. So the boy made a good save. The boy made a good save, but it was a good move as well. As you said, plenty of passes leading up to it as well, slick football. But I think, just talking about the day overall, I think we had quite a few chances and maybe not so clinical as what we usually are. So, but I think we created plenty of chances, even maybe half chances. But I was expecting us to score. But listen, how can you be 1-3-0 and be disappointed with the scoreline? But when you look at overall the total amount of chances we had today, I think we'd be looking for more goals. So I think we've got to be more clinical and just bury teams, absolutely bury them. No holes barred, no holding back. Get right into them.
Aye. Well, Paddy, somebody won 6-0 yesterday and was saying that it should have been 10-11, so he was disappointed with 6-0. So I don't think we're going to be disappointed with the 3-0. So that chance, brilliant passing move. Falls to Hatate, has a good shot on goal. Keeper saves it. Ida, same again, mate. Keeper saves it.
Again, just what we said earlier, Scott, like regarding the first goal, the way we retain the ball, the way we recycle it again, we get it out wide, it goes back in again, it goes forward again. You know, our ball retention was top class, and that's what, when you keep moving teams around, that's what's going to happen. You're going to end up getting openings. And to be fair to the goalkeeper, I think over the whole piece, you know, I think he stood between us and maybe 5 or 6 there. He had at least 3 or 4 good saves there for that definitely kept the score down. As well as our, you know, we were a wee bit slack when it came to putting away the final ball. We could have had more goals ourselves, but to be fair to the goalkeeper, he stood between them and a bit of a hiding there.
Aye, Paul, it's probably an X or something out there with the scissors or something like that, mate. It's nothing to do with the weather. So, Andy, on the 22nd minute, Hatate played a brilliant ball through. You could see it perfectly on the telly what he was trying to do. And they played Ida through on goal. And the big man has a shot. Maybe should have done a bit better and scored. But again, another save for the keeper.
Aye, another great move as well. Hatate involved. Fantastic game today. Hatate, fantastic game. Great ball through to Ida. A very weak shot there. That was a great opportunity for a goal. And I think it just wasn't happening for the big man today. Whether it be he's maybe too keen to score, or maybe we're just used to every time he's on the park, he scores a goal for us, you know. But overall, I think it was a good move. Great opportunity as well. But I thought it was just a wee bit too weak with him. Should have put more power into the shot, I think.
Aye. Paddy, do you think he was maybe running away for goal a bit too much? Or you with Andy, just a kind of weak shot? But let's talk about Rio Hatate first. Another fantastic ball for the wee man.
What a ball. He just gets it out of his feet. And to actually have that control on that slick surface with the rain pelting down, to actually have that, but he didn't have to break stride. The only thing about it is it's on his left side. He sees weaker left side, but I just think Ida just lacks. I think he looks as though he's lacking a bit of sharpness, just lacking that wee bit of sharpness, you know, and that's probably down to the fact that he's only played bits and pieces here so far. The same with Norwich, even at the start of the season, he wasn't getting full games and stuff. So, you know, that'll come with games and with a wee bit more on it. He's just lacking that wee bit of sharpness, and as Andy said, probably just very, very keen to, you know, to maybe find the net again and get off the mark. So between him and Kyogo now to see who gets the first goal.
Aye.
But no, a great, but unbelievable from Hatate. The vision and just to have that control, the ability to put that ball through, whereas I say Ida on that surface didn't even have to break stride. Just brilliant from Hatate.
Aye, it was, and we spoke about it on the pod on Wednesday night, gentlemen. Maybe it was a game too soon for Big Ida. Andy, you know, you can look at it two ways. I suggested he maybe come on for the last half an hour, but if you look at it, he's got 60 odd minutes in the legs as well. But the big man definitely lacking sharpness, and it told on that chance.
He did, mate, but I still think he put himself about and he put himself in good positions as well. I thought his movement was still good, even though we're talking about his fitness. I know his match fitness is slightly a wee bit different, but maybe that touch will get a wee bit better. Listen, we know what he can do. He's already done it for us, so it's not as if we're kind of spent so much money on a player and we're like, oh no, is this going to be a gamble or no? We know he can do it and it will come. I don't think he had an absolute disaster today. I don't think he was at his best. But I thought he'd done all right. I thought he'd done quite happy with his performance. So I've got absolutely no problem with Adam Ida today. I thought he'd done all right. Just if he'd have scored one goal today, we wouldn't even be talking about it. So, you know, I think he's definitely putting himself in good positions, and he's kind of final decision, final ball could be better, but that's all right. It's nothing to worry about.
Aye. And Paddy, it's one of them that I just mentioned there. He's got 60 minutes in the legs a day, and that will stand him in good stead for next week. You know, who's he going to start with? Is he going to go with Ida? Is he going to go with Kyogo? For me, it's going to be Kyogo all day long before Ida. But he's got the minutes in the legs, and that will do him good, won't it, mate, for the match sharpness moving forward.
Yep, 100%. That's a good 60 odd minutes there, and that in those conditions as well, he'll be working the leg muscles there, so that will definitely do him good. He's just, as I say, he's just lacking that wee bit of match sharpness. We've no doubts about him. You saw last year what he can do when he's fit. The guy can score goals. He offers a threat up front. He can hold the ball up. He can allow us to play a completely different way than we do when Kyogo's in the team. I thought early on today, I thought his hold up play and stuff was quite good. It was just that those wee chances that fell to him on his left side, maybe. But for the game next week, I think Kyogo's the talisman in that fixture. He's absolutely terrorised them. So I think that's an absolute no-brainer. I mean, the game might change. The game can change. You don't know what way the game goes. You might need a physical presence maybe later on or whatever, and it'll be good to have Big Ida still available there. But for me, for starting the game next week, you have to go with Kyogo. And if the wee man is struggling for a goal, what better way to come up with your first goal than next Sunday?
Oof, that'll be a great shout, mate. That'll be a great shout. So, Andy, 33rd minute, we've got the second goal. Alistair Johnson, who again had a good game for me today, and we'll talk about later with his own goal, plays like a looping cross, and it looked like Kuhn was offside. I'm going, Kuhn's off, or was it Kuhn? Maida. And Maida heads it back to Rio Hatate. What a strike! What a goal!
What a great ball for AJ, by the way. Yeah. And Maida done well to header that down as well. But Hatate, the way he took that ball, and a perfect strike off the post, keeper's no chance of getting it. And a great finish, great move as well. So I really, really happy with that. Maida, the day, I know obviously he's involved in quite a few things, as you know, he does a lot of pressing and all that, but I thought he had a fantastic game today. Maida put himself about, involved in everything, never ever gives up, no matter who it is he's playing. It just chases every ball. He is absolutely perfect teammate. To give players a bit of breathing space as well. He's constantly on defenders' backs and won't give them time, makes them make mistakes. So with his wee header down in Hatate's finish again, Hatate, probably one of the best players in the park, if not the best. Great finish for him, and great to see. Great move.
Aye, brilliant move, Paddy. AJ, great ball in, and very smart from Maida. We don't normally see that from Maida using his head. We'll come on to that later as well, when he did use his head and should have scored. But a smart header back anyway. And Rio Hatate, we've asked him to step up since Matt O'Reilly's left, and Christ, did he step up there?
Absolutely, yeah. Fantastic move again. Again, when you look back at it, we kept the ball again and worked the opening, and fantastic ball from AJ. And we made it just to again the vision and to see what was happening in front of him there. And he left a perfect ball back, but still Hatate still had a lot to do in terms of hitting that ball on the drop the way it fell to him. But absolutely top drawer finish, in off the post, goalkeeper no chance. So again, just what we said during the week. If Hatate can get that wee bit further forward, he can score goals. He can offer you that threat in the box and in around the edge of the box. So just a wonderful goal, top drawer finish.
Oh, come on, sir. Come on, you're killing me here. You're killing me. And on the 41st minute, one of the penalty decisions that could have went for or against, let's have a quick chat about it. So ball gets played in, Maida goes down, gets straight back up, hits a shot, and then he gets the shot off, and the referee straight away gives a corner. It goes to VAR and comes back, and decision stands. How are you seeing that one at the two? Was it a penalty kick for you, or was it a corner?
When I first seen it in real time, I thought penalty, but I think any situations like that, that's the first word out my mouth, whether it is or no. Just a natural reaction. But looking at it again, I think it's, I don't know, I think it's 50-50, I would say, mate. I think obviously you're wanting decisions like that going in your favour, but it wasn't quite enough for me, I don't think. Just my opinion.
Aye. And yourself, Paddy, was it a penalty or not?
Again, watching it in real time, Scott, we were all screaming penalty. But when you watch it over again, the guy actually gets a nick on the ball. He actually gets the slightest nick on the ball, and then it's his follow through that actually brings Maida down. It's actually the follow through from, and again, I think the referee's probably given the benefit of doubt on the conditions. They're slipping and sliding in the box, and again, if he'd given it, you could see why he would have given it. But when you look back on it again, I think it was the right decision in the end. I don't think it was deliberate. As I say, he definitely does get a nick on the ball. Maida picks himself up again, and then it's the guy's follow through that actually brings him down. And it's more like a tangle of legs than anything else, really. As I say, so while we were all screaming at the TV, penalty, but when you see it over again, I think he's given him the benefit of the doubt based on the conditions. So probably the right call at the end.
Yeah,
I think it's the fact that Maida's bounced straight back up again as well as maybe.
I was going to say.
Your opinion now.
That's what I was going to say, mate. I think Maida was too honest. I think if he'd stayed down, he would have gave them a decision to make, but because he got straight back up, then that definitely swayed it as a corner kick. So half-time, Andy, St Mirren 0, Celtic 2. Give me your overall thoughts on that first half, mate.
Couldn't be happier, mate. Aye, very, very happy with that first half. And I have been since really, even all the way through pre-season. I can't say a bad thing about the performances. Maybe in a couple of games I've tailed off in the second half, but overall first half performance, very happy with that.
Aye, and Paddy, yourself, 2 cracking strikes for Mach and Hatate to get the boys in at half-time 2-0.
Yep, we were delighted too, and I'm sure Brendan will have been as well. It's not only leading by 2-0, but we had total control of the game. You're in full control. I'm not saying we're cruise control, but we were definitely in full control. St Mirren were only offering a very minor threat, maybe from set pieces and stuff, like a couple of high balls humped into the box or whatever. But we were actually in total control of the game, leading 2-0. It could probably have been more at half time, but definitely we were delighted at half time. But again, the first thing that we said was we still need to get the third goal just to kill this off here, because you don't want to give them any encouragement by getting a goal back and then getting the St Mirren crowd into it, and then it's a cavalry charge for the last 20 minutes trying to defend. So while we were happy at 2-0, we definitely the thought from us at halftime was we need to get that third goal.
Yeah, and Andy, we came out second half again, all guns blazing. Rio Hatate gets the ball. Again, he finds a perfect pass out there to James Forrest, who busts through on the right-hand side. And the boy Taylor gets a cracking block in. But again, Jamesy Forrest probably should have done better there. Another beautiful ball for Rio Hatate.
Aye, again, Hatate involved again. Great run. The ball to Forrest. And as you said, the defender done well to block that. But again, coming out the second half with an intention to just get the ball down, play some good slick football and looking to score a goal. And it's good to see them coming out in the second half with that same attitude. Yeah,
and Paddy, what a ball again for Rio Hatate. What a game he had. And he picks Forrest out of peach. And either, was it a good block for you, or should Forrest have done better?
Do you know what? My first reaction when I saw it was that Hatate just held the ball for a split second too long. He eventually made the pass, but when he had the defender, the defender running backwards, that was the time to release the pass. But he just held on that wee bit too long, and then by the time Jamesy got the ball, the big guy was turned and was able to get the block in. But again, what I said to you before, is this what we're going to see now? As Brendan maybe has taken him to the side and said, listen, you're the guy that can step up here. I want to give you that wee bit of extra responsibility to get forward, take shots, score goals, set people up. So the wee man was absolutely different class. And as I say, that wasn't the only thing. There was other wee things that maybe didn't even result in a chance. But he was just absolutely different class. And again, I would like to hope that that's maybe a sign that maybe he's the guy that can step forward. We can bring somebody else in surely to replace O'Reilly. But that wouldn't surprise me if Rio becomes the main man in the middle of the field this season, because he certainly has the ability.
Yeah, let's hope so. Let's hope so, my man. So this comment here for Plunge McNugget. When are you boys back on? Our flagship show, mate, is on a Wednesday night at 7 o'clock UK time. So just make sure you're back on for that one there, Plunge, where every Wednesday, 7 p.m. UK time is our main podcast with the panel, okay? And we do, obviously, the post-matches as well. As we progress and we become a bigger podcast, which we're planning to be, then we might do other nights. But as it is just now, it's just a Wednesday night, 7 p.m. UK time, and the post-match shows. So something extraordinary happened on the 56th minute, Andy. Kasper Schmeichel actually had to make a save. Long range guy, and he got down to his right hand side, and I think it's the first one I've had to see him make since he's come up the road.
Aye, I was going to say that. I think it's the first time we've uttered the words, haven't we? Very strange to see. He's had very little today. And credit to the team that he has been that way. It's all right saying, look at the opposition you're up against. But listen, every team's going to get a chance against you. I think, I think we're critical, or can be critical of your defence, excluding CCV and maybe AJ, but other players, and I think overall, defensively, I think we've been pretty sound so far this season. Considering we're talking about we need reinforcements, so credit to the players that are playing in front of him that he has had very little today, but I think it was easy enough. He wasn't going to lose out in that situation, was he? And it's not as if, Schmeichel's made a save, and, because we didn't know that he could make a save. We know all about Schmeichel. We know he's a fantastic keeper. We know he's a very good shot stopper as well. But I think crucially for us as well that he's very good with his feet. He's very clever and competent, and I'm not in panic stations when the ball does get in that area. I've got plenty of confidence in Schmeichel to produce the goods, whether it be do it with his feet or do it with his hands. He's a very competent keeper, captain of his national team. So I think we've won a watch getting him, mate. I've got to be honest with you, he's a great signing. For
sure, Paddy. And I'm only having a laugh with putting that in, obviously, because it's probably one of the only first saves I've ever had to see him to make. But it's an important thing to put in, because when he's needed, it just shows you that he's there. It was a good save, and it got his hands warm in that freezing cold day at the stadium as well, mate.
Yep, just again what we touched on last week. Again, to be a top class goalkeeper and to play for Celtic, one of the things as well as being a goalkeeper, you need to have that. You need to have that concentration levels, because there's going to be spells where you're not going to be involved, and the game's going to be raging on at the other end of the field. So it was brilliant to see just the fact that he made it was a smart save, a save you would expect him to make. But it just shows you that he's switched on. His concentration levels are exactly where they should be. So just brilliant to see that. I say not the greatest save in the world, but again, it just highlights the fact that his concentration levels are where they should be. And again, especially in the first half, I just thought, again, you see the speed of the speed that he can get the ball along the ground if he's passing the ball out to the right fullback or the left fullback. It's the way he can move the ball and move it quickly. He hit one there in the second half for Maida down the wing that allowed wee Dyson to get away down the wing. So it shows you that his brain's ticking over all the time. Top class goalkeeper, absolutely no doubt about it.
Yeah, and hopefully he can play left back as well, but we'll come on to that later on as well before we shoot off. So on the hour mark, Brendan started to ring the changes. Kyogo and Kuhn come on. Ida and Forrest got taken off. So just a minute later, Kyogo played a brilliant run behind the defence, get played in and goal. And that goalkeeper, Andy, yet again, the wee man should have buried it right enough, but save for the keeper.
Aye, he should have finished. It was a good opportunity. But again, the keeper comes to the rescue. So it was a great opportunity, mate. And, you know, his movement overall is just, it's always been great, the wee man. So, but unfortunate in that situation. Should have done better, I suppose. But the keeper again, didn't make his dirty day, which is safe.
Aye, Paddy, he reminds me Gianluca Vialli. He used to just hide behind the defence, and he'd come back the way and then go forward, and that's exactly what Kyogo done. It just reminded me of Vialli, and the wee man should have put that one in the pokey.
And what a substitute to be able to bring on. You know, a team that's been playing for an hour, slightly over an hour in those conditions, getting moved all over the place, and all of a sudden then you see one threat going off with different threat Anita and the other threat of Kyogo running in behind. Again, it's not happening for the wee man. It's just not happening for him in terms of the ball going in the net, but that'll change. And I just thought if he had lifted his head a wee bit, he would have saw the keeper coming well off his line. He could probably chipped it over him and scored. But again, that's what happens whenever if you're struggling for goals and maybe not hitting the target, you start snatching at things. So it was a great chance. But again, credit to the goalkeeper. He came out, made himself big, and didn't make it easy for him, and made another good save.
Paddy, he's saving his hat trick for next week. Don't worry about it. He's just waiting.
I'll take that all day long, Scott.
So on the 69th minute, I spoke about it earlier, the lovely little header back from Maeda. We're looking for a new guy to take some corner kicks since Matt O'Reilly's away, and Bernardo, Andy, what a corner kick. And if Maeda had got the contact on this header, like he did for the knockback for Hatate, we might have been screaming goal, but a bad miss for the wee man.
He's liable with that into both with his feet, Andy. He's to kind of, it's either a worldie or he's just totally fluffed it all together. Great ball in with Bernardo.
Aye.
I think Bernardo's a great football player, but he's got a really good touch, kind of the same as O'Reilly, At times he kind of just glides along the park, but a beautiful touch of the ball he's got as well. So it was a great ball in for me. He should have done better there, mate. I think it was a pretty poor attempt, but I don't know. Maybe he's got too much hair on his head or something. Maybe shave that hair. He might get better contact on it. I don't know. Maybe that's the issue.
Aye, maybe. So we're screaming out, as you said, Paddy, for that third goal, and the wee man should have tucked that header away. But great corner kick for Bernardo.
His delivery today was top notch. It's the pace he puts on the ball. We've been screaming at that too for the last couple of years for somebody to get on the end of those balls in the box, and the pace that he puts on the ball delivered into the 6-yard line, it's just going to need a touch from anybody. So Dyson will be disappointed. He will be disappointed, but again, I find it hard to be critical of the wee man because he absolutely works his socks off. So I don't like criticising, but he will be a wee bit like Kyogo. He'll be disappointed that he didn't put that one away. But again, it's coming together. It takes, you don't just get this all at the start of the season. It takes 3, 4, 5 matches for everybody to get on the same page and for everybody to hit the standard of fitness that they need. So we're ticking along nicely. And again, everybody's getting a wee run out. He's making plenty of changes. Guys are getting a run out, so it's it'd be very churlish of us to be critical of him at the minute. But
yeah,
looking back on it, Dyson will definitely be disappointed that he didn't score there.
Definitely. And there's a few shouts already for the man of the match. We will get the two guys on the panel to pick their man of the match. And if it goes to a tie, then we'll go with the viewers. So fire your man of the matches into the comments and we'll certainly get onto that. So one of the guys that was mentioned there, I seen it by Ouija. He's got AJ as his man of the match, Andy. And fantastic for the third goal. He actually picks the ball up on the right-hand side. He starts to move off. Gives the ball to Kuhn. Kuhn does his magic on the right-hand side and finds no other than AJ again in the box. 3-0 Celtic. Great play for AJ. Great play for Kuhn. 3-0 Celtic.
Aye, that was a fantastic move, man, and really glad to see him score. I agree with that. I found it really difficult. I've got my man of the match in my head, mate, but it wasn't an easy decision to make because I think we had quite a few really good performers today, and AJ was one of them. I thought he did a fantastic game, and obviously getting that goal as well. Great finish, by the way. He took it really well right into top of the net it went. So I'm really pleased for him. But I can see why people would picked him for man of the match. I think he's a really great shout for that. So I think he's had a fantastic. It's a good start of the season, actually, AJ. I think at the best time last season, he was kind of hit and miss sometimes, but he's performed really well. And it did a really good, what do you call it? What's their competition called there again?
Copa America.
Copa America. He had a good 2 minutes. So he seems to have come back with the same kind of form for us, which is good.
Aye, he definitely had a good tournament out there as well. And there's quite a few for AJ Paddy in the comments. And he certainly deserved that goal. He started it off. Great move. Great by him. Great by Kuhn. 3-0 Celtic.
Yeah, definitely a good shout for that as well. Again, just go back to the substitutions. Like the guy playing on the left side of St. Mirren, you're chasing Jamesy around for the first hour, and then you see Nicholas Kuhn coming on. You know what I mean? It's just like this shows you the depth of the squad that we have, even though we still feel we're one or two players short. But it shows you the quality that we have that can come in when you can get a good hour out of Jamesy, or you can get a good hour out of Maida or whatever. So Kuhn's a fantastic player. He's had a lightning start to the season as well. So great move down the right, and just like for a fullback in the box to control that finish and keep it on target, and just basically rattle it into the net. Brilliant finish. Just summed up Johnson's day today. I thought he was terrific.
He certainly was. Paddy certainly was. So 75th minute, Ralston and Home come on for Taylor and Bernardo. Just want to touch on one of the players that came on there. Home, Andy. For me, it's not going to happen for him at Celtic this season. I seen somebody in the comments actually put a great shout in there. Home away to St Mirren. I know the two managers are very friendly with each other, and it happened last season. They took one of your players. Do you think? I know Jerry's big on it as well about sending out players to SPFL teams to give them. Do you think maybe Home to an SPFL team, mate, a Premier team would benefit him? I don't think it's going to happen for him at Celtic, do you?
Absolutely. Well, I think it's going to happen this season, mate. I just don't see him breaking into that team, mate. I think it's going to be kind of a wee sub appearance now and again. He's not going to make a huge impression, I don't think, anyway. I don't think he's at that level to do that, anyway. Yeah. But I agree. I think that we've all spoke about it and come up with the same opinion that it's a good idea to be shipping them out to other Premiership teams in Scotland, because they're staying closer to home. They're not having to move countries or anything like that. They're playing still fairly local, although you're maybe 3 years up the road to Aberdeen or whoever it may be. But, you're still close to home. You're getting to see how they're playing every week. Brendan can keep a closer eye on them. They're playing against your opposition, but they can't play against you, so you're going to benefit out of it. They're getting game time. They're in the same league. So when they do eventually come into the team, that nothing's going to be strange to them again. So I think it really makes sense. That goes for any kind of player we've got who isn't in the plans, immediate plans. And when I say immediate, I mean this season. Get them out to other Scottish clubs. Get us a benefit of their kind of progression and game time. And it gives you a better look to see, are they going to make it with us, or are they better off maybe moving on? You're not going to see that when I'm sitting on the bench or whatever, So I think it really makes sense, and it would benefit us. So in my opinion, I think it's a great shout to get them out to other Scottish teams.
For sure. And before I come to you, Paddy, just Ouija there. First time I've come across this channel. Happily subscribed, liked, and all that jazz. Nice one, boys. Ouija, thank you so much. So everybody else, please be like Ouija. Like, share, and subscribe. We're aiming to grow this channel massively. We've got some big plans coming up. We're working behind the scenes to bring you the best podcast that we possibly can. So watch this space, and we're going to talk about it after this post-match as well, about what we've got coming up for you. So, Paddy, yourself, home SPFL team, or keep them about the squad for this season? How do you see it?
It's a tough one, Scotty, because just like Ouija said there, I think the young lad has good potential. I think he has the potential to be a great wee player, but even just his physicality, just to if you look back to Christopher Ayer and Ryan Christie, like they went away to, I think, Aberdeen and Kilmarnock and came back totally different players. The thing for home is, do we see him breaking into the team? And with O'Reilly going, I think there's absolutely no question. I think if we do anything in the window between now and when the window closes, I think it will be to replace O'Reilly. I'll be in that midfield area, which is probably maybe going to push him even further down the pecking order. At the minute you're looking at Hatate, McGregor, O'Reilly, not O'Reilly, sorry, Hatate, what do you call the wee Japanese guy? Iwata. Do you know what I mean? There's 3 or 4 players in there, so so I don't know. Again, just even to, it's difficult for him. It's difficult. 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there is never going to get it done. You're never going to make an impression at that time. You need games. You need to be playing games and need to be playing regularly. You can see Ida already. We're already saying the same about him. He needs a bit more sharpness. He needs a bit more games. So I think home for me would definitely benefit from maybe going out and loan to somebody, because he definitely needs a run of games. And as I say, it's made a difference for other players in the past. Maybe it would work for him as well. But as I say, even just from a point of view of maybe growing himself and getting a bit more physicality involved, and just that sharpness that you get from playing games. So definitely for me, I would think about, especially if we're going to bring another player, we might even bring 2 in. We might look at bringing 2 more midfielders in. I think that's just going to push him even further down the pecking order. So,
aye, bang on. And we've seen Martin there, another new subscriber. So welcome to the party, Martin. It's great to have you on board. Thank you so much for sharing and subscribing. So something else that we don't normally see. We had the Kasper Schmeichel save earlier, and it was Kuhn again, brilliant on the right-hand side. And he's seen an unlikely adversary on the edge of the area. Anthony Ralston teed him up perfectly. And unlucky for the bricky, just near the bar.
Aye. Listen, I've got nothing against him taking a chance for it there, right? Because anything can happen. It's possibly fair to the wrong player if he kind of try to score a worldie for there, but why not? We're 3-0 up. Go for it. And you never know, it could have went in, but I've got nothing against it. I love Ralston. I think he's just Celtic to the core, absolute workhorse for the team as well. And when he's required to come in, he comes in and does a job. That's him. Come in there at left back. He's normally plays right back. Obviously, I think given the circumstances with AJ having an absolutely fantastic game, I think he was always going to replace Taylor when he came on. But aye, why not? Go for it. It just didn't work out for him, but aye.
Aye, the wee man was unlucky. So one of the things I want to talk about with you, Paddy, was Hatate went off and a young man from your neck of the woods came on, young Francis Turley, who we got from Glentoran. What can you tell us about the wee man? Do you know anything about him? Because he done really well when he came on.
I don't know an awful lot about him, Scott, but I do know that he was very highly rated here. There was a lot of talk about him whenever he was here. When he was on the books of Glentoran, and then just basically then we heard he had signed, or he was going to be signing for Celtic. So I know that Brendan rates him very, very highly, and he gave him a run out in America, and he was there. So listen, young lad like that, just living the dream, in there mixing it with the very best of them, and I mean, he's in that area, so he's going to be playing along with players like Hatate and McGregor and people like that. He's going to Paulo Bernardo, who's come out of the Benfica setup. So absolutely living the dream for the young lad. So as I say, I know he was very highly rated here, and whenever I heard he was coming to Celtic, I thought this is great because it'll be nice just to see what he's like. Again, you can see him; he's just a young lad. They probably need to work on building him up. They need to do a bit of work on the gym, but I know Brendan rates him very, very highly. So he's one for the future without question.
Aye, for sure. And Andy, I know you're a massive advocate for the youth at Celtic coming through. The wee man done well when he came on. I noticed something earlier on Twitter, which actually I thought you'd find interesting as well. Rocco Vata, who's went to Watford, has not had 1 minute of gameplay since he's went to Watford. And then the young boy has went down to Millwall as well. So it's not always the gateway that these young boys are looking for. And they'll be happy for the boy Turley, obviously, but it's a case of what might have been for your Rocco Vatas and the other lad who's away down to Millwall. And it was good to see this young boy getting on and playing well.
Aye, I mean, if he wanted to sit on the bench and do nothing, he should have stayed with Celtic. But I think he's maybe on about 3 times the amount of wages he's on at Celtic. So it depends how bothered he is. Look, he's only just went. I don't know. Maybe they don't quite see him fitting into their plans. Maybe they see him as a project player as much of the time that we bring in players. They don't automatically get a start in the team. We've seen him as merely a project. So it's very easy to kind of look at a point, it's no worked out for you and whatever. I've got nothing against the boy, you know. He's obviously took the opportunity because he thought he'd maybe have a better chance of playing first team football down there. And the money helps. The money helps, absolutely. I've got no ill feeling towards these young boys that go, I think. If it turns out that it doesn't work out for them, they end up at a Ross County again or whatever, then that's their decision. Personally, you know, we're all fans of Celtic and given the opportunity, I think we'd all probably play for nothing if we could to get that chance. But listen, it's their career, it's a very short career, and they need to make decisions at a time. Whether they're kind of have taken the wrong advice or something like that, I don't know, to make that move. But in our opinion, going to any club's going to be a step down for Celtic. But I think time will tell to see how they get on. I don't think you can automatically say because Vata's no getting starts for Watford that it seems going to happen to young Kelly.
Yeah.
But time will tell. So I've got absolutely no ill feeling towards them. I want them to. You want your players, if they do leave, to go and be successful. Same feeling we have with Matt O'Reilly. All right, he was a first team player, very, very important. He's going to be a huge miss. But I think there's very few people that want Matt O'Reilly to go there and be a failure. You know, you want him to go and be a success. You know, so I've got good luck to the young boys. I've got to be honest with you.
Aye, I think we'll certainly be keeping an eye on Brighton for now when Matt O'Reilly goes there. Yeah. So, gentlemen, the game finished at Mirren 0, Celtic 3. So, Paddy, I'm going to come to yourself first. Who is your Four Leaf Clover podcast man of the match today?
Well, just like we touched on, guys, there was any number of three or four of them. I thought Big Scales was fantastic as well. I thought he had a really good game. I thought McGregor was outstanding again too. Callum was just even right at the death and stoppage time. He's still chasing back and all this. But for me, head and shoulders above anybody was Hatate. If I had to give the man a match to anybody, it'd be Rio. I thought he was just absolutely outstanding. Wee guy was just on a different level. So I'll give it to wee Rio.
I'm with you, Paddy. I don't get a choice in this, so it's down to Andy. But I thought Hatate was a different level today. His passing, his assists, everything, mate. I just thought he was brilliant today. Andy, who are you going for and why for your Four Leaf Clover podcast man of the match today?
I'm going to go for Rio Hatate. I think he was a outstanding player today. Great performance. But I agree with Paddy and yourself that there was, and other comments, you know, there was quite a few different players mentioned in the comments here. So you could have had a fair pick of some players in there today. McGregor, particularly good as well. AJ. And Maeda, as always, involved in everything. Just relentless, Maeda. But I'll go with Hatate. I think he had a superb performance today. So he is my man of the match.
Yeah. So Rio Hatate gets a bottle of water from the Four Leaf Clover podcast. This post-match, no alcohol here. So some talking points, gentlemen. We'll start with yourself, Paddy. One of the talking points for the next few days is going to be this third striker thing. Now, my thoughts on it is, are we going to sign a better third striker than Dyson Maeda? If we are, get the guy in. If we're not, let's try and keep Maeda as that third striker. What's your thoughts on it?
No, I agree 100%. I think it's going to be difficult for them to get somebody in at this stage. Again, a lot of the business in these transfer windows now gets done towards the end of the window. You know, so a lot of the players who are looking for moves or agents who are trying to get them a move, you know, they're hanging on at the last to see the best offer they can get. So if we can get somebody in, brilliant. But again, if you remember back a few weeks ago, Brendan said that he was looking for 2 strikers, and he would probably look at maybe bringing in a young prospect player. So, given the fact that we're in the last week of the window, they may very well get somebody. But I wouldn't be unhappy with that. We Dyson plays through the middle for Japan, and as somebody pointed out to me just the other day, he's actually keeping Kyogo out of the Japan squad as the central striker. So I wouldn't be averse to having our 3 strikers as Kyogo, Maida, and Ida. I wouldn't be adverse to that at all.
We can't go wrong with Maida for me, Andy. I mean, what's your thoughts on it, pal? Are you thinking we're going to bring in a young boy maybe just to fill that third berth, as it was meant to be Rocco Vata? Or are you cool with having Maida as that third striker, pal?
I think that's music to the board's ears when you say that Maida can fill in there, because that means you don't need to spend any money on anybody else. But if you're talking about promoting somebody, we get young Joey Dawson and all, and a young striker. And I think if Vata was in that, which I don't believe anyway, he's not a striker, mate. He always played on the wing. So I think Brendan's talking nonsense when he, after the fact, when the deal's done, he's away, or he was going to play as my third striker. No, he wasn't, Brendan, but tell the truth, because he wasn't. And I just don't see it happening. I don't believe him. But I think Maida's a good, as Paddy said, he plays there for his country. His country's manager trusts him in that position. And we know what he can do in that position as well. I don't know, I'd like to have seen another wee bit. I was going to say a kind of better quality coming in that position, but it's trying to keep strikers happy when especially when you're only playing one up front. You're either having Kyogo or Ida. You just spent so much on Ida as well. You're trying to keep the 2 of them happy. We know what happened with Giakoumakis. His nose was out of joint. Very gifted player, Giakoumakis. Knows if he was kind of blowing his own trumpet, he delivered the goods. But unfortunately, Kyogo was just a kind of, whether you think he's a better player or no, he was more preferred, especially under big hands. And I think it's the same under Brendan. I think Kyogo would be the preferred striker, but he brought Ida in because he knew he can do a job. So I think I can't see he's bringing in any major signings up front now. I think that they are going to stick with Maida as much as I'd like to see better quality coming in. But it's trying to keep all the people happy, You're spending another, say, 3 million on a striker or whatever it may be. It's really trying to keep them happy and give them enough game time. And if you're a striker and you're getting paid for that amount and you're quite happy to sit on the bench, I don't know if I want you in the club. You want to be fighting for your jersey there. So, but it looks as if Maida is going to be that third choice.
Aye, it certainly looks that way. I'm with you 2 guys as well. I don't think we're going to spend the money on another striker. Unless he's going to be better than Kyogo and Ida, which is never going to happen with the prices getting bandied about for these sort of players. It looks like Maida's going to be that third striker. So my next talking point was on the 75th minute. Paddy, Tony Ralston came on for Greg Taylor because we don't have another left back at the club. So is this another one for you? I think 2-3 years now we've not had another left back at the club. It's ridiculous, really. Is that a proper bit of business that we need to get done this week as well? Another left back? That
one should be priority, Scott. Absolute priority. For me, there's 3 now. And if you're not going to look at bringing in another striker, you're looking at 3. So you definitely need somebody to give Carter Vickers and Scales a bit of competition. We absolutely, no question about it, need a left back, and we definitely need another. We need at least one who's going to come in there and take O'Reilly's place in the squad. But for me, the priority should definitely be left back. Those, I find it staggering that we're still sitting here with only a week left to go in the window, and we can't seem to find a left back anywhere in Europe or wherever that will push Greg Taylor on, and not even push him on. I think they probably took Greg off today because he'd been yellow carded. He had got involved in a wee spat with the big guy Rooney there. So I think they were probably looking ahead to next week. He was probably scared of maybe getting involved in a second yellow, and he's out for next week. I would say that's probably Brendan's thinking today. But again, exactly that. If Taylor gets injured or gets suspended or whatever, you're having to come and play somebody completely out of position there to play in that role. You have Anthony Ralston, who's very right-footed, playing on the left-hand side. So for me, those are the three going into this week. We need to get another centre half in. We need to get a left back, and we need to get another midfielder to replace O'Reilly. Those three for me would be priority this week.
Aye, it's pretty scandalous. A club the size of Celtic, Andy, that we only have one recognised left back. If he went down injured today, or as Paddy said, got a red card, we're starting with Ralston next week in the Glasgow Derby, which is pretty shocking, really, if we don't get another left back in by then.
Mate, we've not had left back cover for I don't know how long. Even when Bernabeu was here, he's
hopeless.
You're as well with a player short than having him. He was absolute dog meat, but I think that it's been an issue for a while, and I don't see what is happening. Somebody made a great point about Mitchell Frame. I don't know if he's still holding an injury. I don't know how bad that injury was. I'd imagine he's all right now, but I don't actually know. But again, a young boy given the opportunity to come on and actually done pretty well when he did come on with his appearance. So I'd like to see the kind of younger guys getting a chance, but you really need a kind of more experienced backup. Or what you really need is somebody better than Greg Taylor to come in and take a jersey off him. And if Greg Taylor's up to it, he'll fight to get a jersey back, which I don't think he's been particularly bad. Taylor, I know he gets a rough ride at it, and I've been critical of him myself, but I think we need better quality, especially when it comes into European football and that. Most of the time you'll get away with it domestically, but you do get fun out in these situations in Europe. So I'd like to see us finally sort that problem out in the left, because it does get targeted all the time, and you feel sorry for him because he doesn't get any respite for that reason as well. During the game, constantly bombarded with balls sitting out of tap of him. Physically, usually a guy that's a bit stronger than him up against him, bullying him about.
Yeah.
And to be fair to the wee man, he puts his hair about and he's a warrior. He battles, so you can't say that he hides for these situations. You could quite argue quite easily that maybe his quality isn't there at times, but he gives you 100% every game.
Aye, certainly doesn't hide, for sure. Brian McCabe's come out with a cracker there. It's subliminal from Rodgers today, putting a bricky at left back. He's basically saying to the board, this is what I've got, and yes. Aye, good call.
Absolutely great point there. Yeah, that's another one. I know he'd been involved in a wee spat just a few minutes earlier, but again, that could be another example of Brendan saying to the board, look, this is what I'm down to here. If our first choice left back gets injured here with Rangers next week, we might have a Champions League game coming up on Tuesday or Wednesday. So it could be in a roundabout way him saying to the board, look what I've got here.
This is what I have to bring on. Aye.
Yeah.
So last thing I wanted to talk about, just quickly, Jen, I just want to mention it. We don't need to talk about it, but I just wanted to mention it was James Forrest made his 499th appearance for Celtic today. So he will make his 500th appearance, incredibly, for Celtic in the Glasgow Derby next week. So we'll talk about that more after the post-match on Sunday next week. So we're just about finished. Gentlemen, a couple of things that we want to talk about. Me and Andy spoke about it this morning, is some upcoming segments we've got for you. So people are asking what time we're on, when we're on, stuff like that. A couple of upcoming segments that we've got. One of them that we didn't mention on Wednesday's pod is we're going to do a get to know the panel segment. So myself and Andy have started up this pod, and we've got our Willie Miller, Paddy here, and we've also got our Alec Baldwin, our Jerry McMillan as well. And we just want you to get to know everybody if you don't. And obviously we've got some new viewers as well. So Andy will give you a bit of his Celtic story. I'll give you a bit of mine and a bit about our personal lives and stuff like that, and Paddy and Jerry as well. So we just want to bring that into the pod, just more basically for the new viewers. So we'll pick a guy every week. That will be coming up soon as well, and we'll do a little segment on ourselves and just give you a little bit about ourselves. And the last thing that we're going to talk about today is a segment that we're going to be bringing in next month. So September on the Four Leaf Clover podcast is going to be about the main man himself, Tommy Burns. We've got some fantastic guests lined up. We're going to be bringing in ex-international managers talking about them as well. The guys we've got coming in are actually going to blow you away. That are going to be coming in and speaking about the great man himself. So we will be doing, next month will be Tommy Burns month. We're going to finish off with a little video for you. But before we do, I just want to say thank you very much to Andy for joining myself today again, and Paddy also. And I hope our Jerry manages to get off the Isle of Arran, because he's actually stuck on there because there's no ferries at the minute because of this weather. So I'm sending some beautiful Spanish weather over to you, Jerry, and I hope you can get
here first before he gets it.
Oh, I want Jerry to get back to Ardrossan. He's got a business to run. So we'll see you on Wednesday night, 7 p.m. UK time. Please like, share, and subscribe this podcast, because we've got some fantastic content coming up for you. And Andy is going to play us out with this Tommy Burns video. So we will see you all on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. UK time. This is the Four Leaf Clover podcast, and we are out of here.
Here we go,
guys.
I don't think I've ever looked on myself as anything other than a supporter who was lucky enough to get to play for Celtic.